This is the meeting of the Conservation Commission for Wednesday, August 14th at 7 p.m. and 7 o'clock. Notes and 10 for 169 South Street, which is a continuation. So, Mary, do you have that one?
Yeah, I believe Susan and Susan's here. She might want to kind of wrap up the changes that she made.
Yeah, hi there. My name is Susan MacArthur from MacArthur Environmental Consulting. I'm not sure if the applicant, Rick Morrill, is on the call. I didn't see his name. And also Sean Malone, who is with Oak Consulting Group, should also be on. But regardless, I will just, oh, go ahead, what?
They're on.
Oh, they're on. Okay, I didn't see them. Anyway, oh, they're there. Hello.
Hello.
So just to recap, at the last hearing, the commission had asked for a few revisions and submittals, which I did send over to Mary. I can share my screen if that's okay.
Works.
Okay. Let's see. Bear with me. Let me know when you can see. You see it?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So
Can you make it better? Thank you.
can you see that? Is that big enough?
Yes.
Okay. So one of the items was the wetland delineation line was a little on the high side. So I went back out there and I moved the flags down lower. We left the old one here just as a reference, but they're now lower, and that's flags 1-103 through 1-105. And as such, the wetland replication area has changed slightly. Still the same size, 510 square feet, but just a little bit of a different configuration. And so there was that change. And then when I was out there, I also walked over to this isolated freshwater wetland and went down in here and took a look and kind of marked out. And again, it wasn't any exact, I didn't have a GPS unit. I just eyeballed it, but it's approximately, this circle here is about the limits of the breeding vernal pool. And that was based on vegetation or lack thereof in that area. So it definitely has prolonged standing water in this area. It was not really wet too much when I was out there. It's little pockets here and there, but yeah, so that was one of the things that the commission had asked about. So I did that. Also, let's see, I provided 2 DEP data plots because Mary had asked about those. There was one for a wetland and one for an upland area. Let's see. Oh, the TSS removal calculation sheet was revised based on DEP's comments. Sean, if you want to just briefly talk about that revision, if you're prepared for that.
Yeah, basically, I think they commented we had a third line in here between the deep sump hooded catch basin and the infiltration basin for the sediment forebay as part of the infiltration basin. And technically, per the regs, that infiltration basin number includes the sediment forebay. So we removed the sediment forebay basically from the TSS calcs, but we still meet the TSS removal
requirement, okay. Okay, thank you. And lastly, based on the conversation by the commission at the last hearing that because we are doing a replication area, there will be a required monitoring of that area for 2 years. So we changed the spec to include that, the wetland replication spec that was originally submitted with the notice of intent, added that into the mix so that the contractor will know to hire somebody to prepare those. And you know, we'll know a little bit more once the order is issued, so we might have to tweak it a little bit more, but yeah, that's it, I think. Sean, anything to add? Or
I think the only other thing that I would add is related to the vernal pool. We did add the buffers, the 100-foot resource area, the 50-foot no disturb, and the 100-foot buffer to the vernal pool, and added those disturbance calculations to our C500 plan. So those are in the plans now.
Thank you.
yeah. Good point. Okay.
Does anyone from the commission have a question?
Susan, there was also, I think since we last met, we got the DEP number with the comments, and they had extensive comments.
Okay.
I feel like one of the comments was on other permits, which might be necessary from the.
Yeah,
We're gonna research that.
right. And you know, we internally discussed that a little bit about MIPA, and you know, we don't think that we're going to be tripping any thresholds, but the only way that would be relevant if the project needs a state permit, and that would be such as like a water quality cert. But I don't think that we're going to have over 5,000 square feet of impacts to even be close to triggering that. So and we're not going to need a chapter 91 or anything like that, because we're not touching that culvert. We anticipate that we will have riverfront area impacts with the lots, but you know, not too extensive on that. Sean has made every effort to design to, you know, avoid impacts to the extent practical. So anyway, yes, we saw those comments. I do not think that is going to be an issue.
Anything else, Mary?
No, I don't think so. I thought the changes look good.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the commission?
Yeah, this is Mike. I do have one question. I'm not sure if we mentioned this before, but maybe it's more of a planning board issue, but did you change the spacings of the landscaping trees?
And actually, now that you mentioned that, Mike, I did ask the planner about the landscape
Yeah.
areas, and the 75 feet is what's required.
Yeah, no,
So that's their minimum.
that's the minimum, but we could go. You
We
could
could
go.
ask,
You could ask for
you could ask for more.
Okay. Also something to think about. And then I do have some questions about the vernal pool. So the big circle, what is that? What does that represent? Just want to make sure.
This circle is the
Bigger circle.
Oh, the bigger circle is the buffer around the Sean, is this big one the
Is that 150?
Yeah, that's the 100-foot resource area associated with the vernal pool.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, maybe those, because they're not labeled. I see you have all of them in there, but maybe you could label those different lines. Because then you have the 50-foot no disturb, I believe, and then the 100-foot buffer resource area off the, I think they're all there. They're just not.
Okay.
Yes,
So-
and we do have those in the legend. They're all different line types, and then on the which plan is it? The C101 plan, the existing conditions, we do have call outs to each of those lines and buffers. Yeah,
Is this
there,
one-
there you go. Just had to zoom out a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there, at the bottom.
Oh, okay, oh, thanks. So then, moving on, in terms of that small circle, from what you said, it sounds like your placement of that circle depended on lack of vegetation and existing water. I think what you should use to determine the extent of the vernal pool is hydrological indicators, maybe like stained leaves, for example, to give you some idea.
There were also stained leaves,
Well, were there stained leaves beyond that tiny circle? That's the question.
Oh, not really. I mean, it literally goes to vegetation, like, I'm trying to think what kind of vegetation. There's shrubs and, probably,
Okay, yeah, that was, vegetation's kind of irrelevant. I can think of a extraordinarily productive vernal pool in Upton, which is, you look at it this time of year, it's a shrub swamp. Okay, so it's, what we really should be talking about is the hydrology. Where is the seasonal high water line located? And I don't believe it's that small circle. I think it's greater than that. Now, I understand maybe what you're trying to do. I mean, the commission's gonna have to issue most likely a variance for this road crossing under the bylaw. So maybe this doesn't matter too much, but I would actually like to see this accurate, and I'm not sure it's accurate right now.
I'd be
Mary?
happy to take a walk out there with the commission and we could go over it. Like I said, I didn't have a GPS unit, but I feel that it's fairly accurate. You'd
What's
have
the What's the diameter of that little circle? Small, small,
I can get to that. Hang on one second.
just roughly.
So it is roughly 60-foot diameter, about 2,500 square feet.
Okay. Okay, thank you. But again, my ears perked up when you start talking about vegetation. Again, you can have a vernal pool that can have
Vegetation.
can have shrub cover.
understood.
And again, I would have your assessment should have been based on hydrological indicators. Probably this time of year, stained leaves and things like that would have been used.
Yeah, I have some pictures actually from April of last year. Whether it's helpful, I'm not sure that shows the flags.
April 23.
Yeah, April of 23 with the water. I can see if we can share.
Is that circle flagged in the field right now?
No, I didn't flag it.
So. Picture of it.
Doesn't look too bad.
Oh, that was wrong. And this is but unfortunately, we don't see the vegetation because it's not out yet.
Was your circle pretty much to the edge of the trees that you delineated? Or was it smaller than that?
It was probably like that. Mhm.
Yeah, I do remember noticing the flags when I was out there at one point, and they were off from the circle.
They were definitely beyond the circle, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments from the commission or from the audience?
Do you want to, should we continue it so I can get a chance to go out there and look at it a little bit more?
It's your call. Sure, it will make a huge amount of difference. I mean, we're still gonna have to issue a variance for the
It's true.
But are those the 100 foot and the 150? Is that off of the small circle?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
So would that have an effect on the cost? But I mean, it's always gonna affect the road, but. would it affect
right. Well, it's
anything
actually,
else?
I was looking at it and because there's other buffers there, it's, I mean, it'll be on there. I don't know that it'll change things too much. Certainly it's gonna need a variance for the road.
I don't think whatever we found would change the design, it's more just, was that accurate or not?
Right, and getting it right for posterity.
You know, but and maybe, I mean, looking at your photo, maybe it wasn't reasonably
Yeah.
good.
Well, I mean, it'd be easy to tell, I mean, because it's along the edge of the trees, it's fine, I mean, that's what you want. It's not hard to tell if it's accurate.
Is there any other reason to keep the hearing?
I don't think so. I mean, they're gonna have to, I mean, they're gonna have to go through planning board and get peer reviewed for the stormwater, so that's.
Yeah, in, if I may, just to update the commission, we did meet with the planning board last night. They voted to open up the public hearing on September 24th, and in the meantime, they are putting this out to peer review to DGT, so we expect to get some comments from DGT sometime before that 24th meeting, and of course, stormwater will be included in their review.
Okay, thank you.
So I guess the other, you could keep it open while it's with planning board. I mean, it's up to you guys.
Yes, yeah. It's like,
Yeah, I guess, yeah, that's.
they want to close.
We need to do the issue the variance.
Yeah, so we would need to vote on a variance. Yes, we would.
Can we do that today?
Sure. Just. Trying to think, I think we're gonna need three variances. I don't know, because, well, we certainly need a variance for the 30 foot and the 50 foot in the regular bylaw, and then a variance for the vernal pool. Yes, that would be three variances.
Okay,
How about you write out the variances
Okay,
as part of the order of conditions, or it's like a
yeah,
attachment or cover letter to the order conditions, then we vote on that.
okay,
That'd be okay.
yeah,
Is that okay, Chris?
so
Yeah.
leave the hearing open.
That also gives, leaving it open, we can provide the applicant with a draft of the order of conditions, which he can review, and comment on. Unless you really want to close the hearing. Might be good to keep it open.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I don't know what Susan's opinion is, but in other projects I've worked on, I think it makes sense to keep this hearing open while we're progressing through the planning board in case things change, so we don't have to amend orders and all that. But Mr. Panko's suggestion about getting an order of conditions, put together and circulated in the meantime, we can comment. I think that would be terrific.
I agree.
Yeah, I think that'd be good. When do you anticipate the other boards getting done with their process?
I would expect, so we don't start the planning board in essence until, middle of September. I would expect maybe end of October optimistically, maybe middle of November.
So in other words, we may have to continue this a little bit down the road, correct? A few times.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Conservation Commission meeting is the 28th of August.
I would suggest, and this is for everybody's comment, that we plan a meeting after our meeting with the planning board on the 24th of September,
Good idea.
immediately after.
Good idea.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find that date.
Be the 25th. I think it'd be some Tuesday.
That does. September 25th.
Sounds good.
Excellent. So we'll continue this until September 25th. How about at 7 o'clock?
That sounds good.
Any other questions? Mary, is that good?
What's that? Thank you guys for your time. Have
You, September 25th.
Thank you. Take care.
a good night.
Okay, now we have the request for determination for 54 Pleasant Street. Replacement of a driveway culvert. And Mary, I think you have the,
Yeah. Notice is hereby given in accordance with the Wetlands Protection Act that the Upton Conservation Commission will hold the following public hearing on Wednesday, August 14th at 7:15 p.m. RDA filed by Robert Colari for the reconstruction of a driveway culvert and associated site improvements at 54 Pleasant Street.
excellent. Now, who would like to describe the project?
I believe we have Matt on the line.
The contractor should be zooming in any minute. I just sent them a text that we are good to go. Except he's technically challenged, he said, so he's trying his best.
We'll watch for him
Trying to kick it off.
Yeah, if you want it.
Well, I bought the house in 92, it was built in 92. The driveway was there existing for probably 10 years before the house was built. Stan Crabbe used to own the land. And it's just a 2-4 corrugated metal pipe that is just completely rotted. And then we noticed a small little divot in the driveway, and then when we had that torrential rain in January, I noticed a huge pile of gravel downstream. And it took me a while to figure out why there was a big pile of gravel. And one day I'm at work and she sent me a picture of a giant hole in the middle of my driveway, and that explained it. So I think the water had, because the whole thing has sank, the header, I think Mary, you saw it, right? The header sank down probably 3 feet, the rock header. So the whole thing is just slowly going in, and now it's actually compressed the pipe a little bit. So the flow, it's restricting the flow of water. When we get the heavy water, it's starting to go reach my driveway, actually, get under and wash all the gravel away. There's obviously a hole somewhere in the pipe right in the middle of the driveway. Have a picture of it.
So are you the house, the long driveway with the 2 houses at the end, or are you the next one? With the
I'm the-
long driveway.
We have the
with
private
one
drive.
house?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Okay.
and the plans on screen are from when these were built.
I just remember the long driveway with the 2 houses.
Yeah.
A few years ago. I don't know.
McDonald's are 60 Pleasant.
Yeah.
Couple down. So basically, we're seeking permission to replace that pipe. And, obviously take as little as the driveway as we can. And dig down, replace that and put everything back as it should be.
Did you wanna put a bigger pipe?
We were going with the same size.
I believe a 2 foot. Should do it, I think. Yeah, that's the whole.
You have any thoughts, Mary?
And here's it was kind of hard to get pictures
Yeah.
of stepping into the stream.
Yeah, those rocks that you can barely see, they were flush at one point with the driveway at the same height, and everything has dropped down over the years.
Yeah, so. They have a good, I guess they probably have that here too.
My guy says he's trying to log in, but it says please wait for the host.
She has to
Oh,
She has to-
yeah.
give him permission.
We had issues.
We had a little excitement.
We had issues with.
Just buzzing in?
Oh, yeah, yeah. I wasn't here then.
It happened twice.
Yeah.
The people that absolutely nothing to do with conservation, but it's really bad. Well, we had to just close the meeting.
Oh, my goodness.
We closed the term because.
So, you know,
I was details, but.
Gonna be-
Probably
Just wanted to cause mischief.
You know what, you should be, so is he going off the link I sent him? You guys.
Yeah, yeah.
That's frustrating. And does he have? Yeah, that's unfortunate. See if I can-
So is there water on going to the culvert all the time?
Yes,
So,
It's kind of standing water.
yes, right now, it's about as dry as it's getting.
I did not stick a stick in it to see how deep it was, though.
Probably about 8 inches, 8, 10, 12 inches,
So there's definitely water in there.
yeah. But it's in the 30-something years I've lived there, I've never ever seen it completely dry out.
Right, yeah, it's,
It's not really moving either. Is there anything he can do, Sherry, on his end? Should he try to hit a refresh button? I don't know anything.
Can you
about
call in on his phone?
yeah.
yeah, there should be instructions on, see, on the, it's how to call it, it's not on the agenda, unfortunately. Or you know what, I can send him an invite, does he have an email? I can send him an invite, that worked last time. If you could just read me his email, I can invite him, and that should.
I'm gonna ask him right now.
I can share the screen with.
so have you had to like clean the gravel out of the?
I did show a little bit of it out, yeah,
Yes.
because it was actually starting to dam up block up the stream. Yeah, it took me about 2 weeks to figure out why there was a giant pile of gravel just in the stream. It had me baffled there for a while.
No, whoops, that was Jim.
Mercier, 05.
Map, it says it's recording, would it? Does it have to like not be recording?
No, that's.
Oh, it's not as bad as my contractor guy with this stuff.
You know, so I'm already gonna be getting it soon. It is. His typed up plan of work. So he put together a scope of work. It's on screen, and I was specifically describing what it's gonna do, which looked reasonable. I think the main thing that needs to happen is I think you should really sandbag both sides of the stream. May need to dewater to get the water out of there. And it's just gonna take a lot of, checking back and forth to make sure it's done right. I did find if he needs to dewater, I found a sketch that he can use, a plan he can follow for that. I just kind of wanted to hear if he'd had any of that, if he'd done that before, if he had experience doing that.
Yeah, he has done it before, he also says he has big giant pumps for that reason, if he has to pump it over the driveway.
Perfect. Yeah. Yeah, and so we need to, you have to, the water would have to kind of be in a place where it gets silted out.
Okay. Okay.
See if he's able to make it in.
What is ADS? I should know that, but.
I believe that's some sort of new composite plastic drain pipe, they say is a latest greatest thing.
Let's see
He
if-
says he can hear, hey Matt, can you hear us?
I'm gonna stop the share, so, let me know if I can find it. Let me see if I can call him to talk.
No, we don't hear him.
Oh.
Oh, almost heard you.
There you go.
You there?
I'm gonna promote him to panelist. And I did wrote a lot of the comments.
He's not muted, is he?
Join as a panelist.
There you go, hey Matt.
All right, so we were just talking about,
Oh, she's doing-
and we have on the screen, I'm not sure if you can see it, your scope of work. And we were just talking about probably the necessity of putting sandbags above to kind of block flow and sandbags below. And you might, depending on the water flow, you might need to pump water around or, pipe water around if there's a lot of flow. And I was curious as to how long this was gonna take, whether it was how many day job is it?
Hey Matt, can you hear us?
No, I saw it.
Advanced drains. Got eight.
Since he's talking.
Oh, he's muted.
Unmute. How about now?
Okay,
All right.
hey Matt,
How we doing?
excellent.
Better now? I might have.
Oh yeah, we hear you clear as a bell.
All right. I dig a lot better than I zoom, I can tell you that much.
That's the important part.
All right, here we go.
I don't know if you heard my questions of how many days this was gonna take and if I was recommending using sandbags or some other way to stop the water and protect the wetland area, just.
Yeah, so we certainly can. I mean, I had mentioned to those guys that we could sandbag it, throw a pump in and bypass the whole driveway, and just pump to the other side. You know what I mean? It depends on how, that was the whole, we kind of wanted to wait for it to be a drier season, so we're probably right around the right time frame now.
Yeah.
I haven't been there lately to see what kind of flow is going on. But we certainly can bypass that, the whole project right around the driveway.
Yeah, I don't know, if maybe even just sandbagging it is good enough, although, so if you sandbag it and kind of block the flow. Would you, would you still probably wanna pump the area out that's right next to it, right? Would you pump that out, or would you?
Yeah, so on the upstream side, we could probably just throw a pump in either in a bucket with some stone or just in a little pile of stone. It all depends on, like I said, how much it's flowing. So sandbags alone might take care of it if it's very little flow, you know what I mean? But I would have a pump anyway, so if necessary, we'll just do that.
And how many days do you think this is gonna take?
I mean, one day to have the driveway passable and restored. I mean, it wouldn't be paved, but the pipe
Right,
would be
that's,
the pipe would be replaced and access, you know, back in action and within one day, maybe a longer day, but no more than that.
right, yeah, so ideally, if you could get in there and do it all and take all the sandbags out in one day, I think that would be ideal.
Yeah, maybe not even. I mean, the sandbags can come out as soon as the pipe and everything is stabilized and the pipe's backfilled with the rock. You can let the water flow at that point, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I said, all depends on what it's doing, but nothing we can't handle. It's you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, the intent, like I told Bob, I said that, you know, to have you passing through the driveway at the end of the day, it would be gravel until it's paved, but that's the idea, is to get them back online within one day.
Yeah. So yeah, I think the only thing that's not like written up, and we would put this in conditions, is, you know, the sandbags, and then. We'd still also want some erosion controls, you know, where you're gonna have equipment to protect the rest of the wetlands.
Sure, yeah.
And do you foresee a need to stockpile? You probably have to stockpile some materials. Maybe you can just can identify an area for that.
Yeah, so I think we probably haul some of it out the day of, just to keep from having to pile too much. I mean, it's not gonna be a big excavation, you know what I'm saying? But we'd probably take some of the junky stuff out and the remnants of that pipe, and then bring in some fresh rock and some good gravel for the base of the driveway on top of that, you know? So I don't want to have piles everywhere for sure. It doesn't do me any good either. So we'll keep it neat and clean.
Yeah, and the only, I mean, I did, because this is a replacement, it doesn't have to fall under stream crossing standards. So just the board, you know, this is a driveway, but it is a culvert replacement.
Mhm.
Could ask for an NOI, but I feel like it's up to you guys to decide. I feel like it's on the edge of,
I think it's.
so.
That looks like an emergency repair.
If any other questions from the commission? Any questions or comments from the audience? Hearing none. Mary, what is your final comment?
Just to issue a negative determination 3 and 6, and then, you know, try to have a meeting on site. You know, once you get the sandbags in, I guess I'd like to look at it. Hopefully we can coordinate. I'll try to be there, you know, whatever day you're looking at it, just so we can take a look at it. And it seems like it should be done well, I would think.
Now, would the applicants like to close with tonight?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Thank you. Now, for the commission, we vote to approve this.
I'll make a motion to close the hearing.
So,
How about, let's do a voice vote. Chris, I.
Alan, I.
Sandy, I.
I should have made the also motion to issue a negative determination. Thank you. Which was number 2?
3 and 6.
3 and 6.
Heather, 3, 6. And how about Marcy?
we're good?
Yes. Thank you very much.
Don't want to stick around?
No, maybe, curious to see what these fine people have to say.
Forget it. And so, yeah, I'll try to paper, probably get paperwork next week.
That
Okay,
sounds perfect, thank you.
wonderful, Mary. Thank you, Matt.
You got it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
You have.
Take care. All right.
Have a good night.
You too. At 7:30. NOI 51 Center Mill Road, construction of a single family home.
Yeah. All right, so public notice notice is hereby given in accordance with the Wetlands Protection Act. The Upton Conservation Commission will hold the following public hearing on Wednesday, August 14th. At 7:30 PM, a notice of intent filed by Sebastiano, Generoso for the construction of a single family home at 51 Cider Mill Lane, map 12, lot 3.
Just an attendance.
The plan is on the screen as well as on the table, which is nice.
Ready for me to start?
Yes,
Hi, my name is David Sadowski. I'm the principal of DJ and Associates. I'm here with the applicant, Sebastiano Generoso. I believe that's how it's pronounced correctly.
That's Joe.
Sebastiano. And we're here for a single family house to be located on Cider Mill Lane. This is a piece of property that used to be owned by 71 Upton Road. And they ended up cutting two lots, lots 2 and lot 3 out. This is lot 3. We have a septic system on the plan and a proposed well. The well is 125 feet from the septic. But as far as conservation is concerned, we have observed and we have not touched the 30-foot no-touch buffer, which is shown on the plans. And the 50-foot setback is also shown on the plans. And the proposed work that we have is outside both of those zones. The septic system has been reviewed. There was one revision asked for. They wanted a second vent pipe to come from the D box back to the tank. I actually have those plans with me tonight too. But other than that, the plan is the way that the plan stands. There's quite a bit of pine over on this lot that Sebastian wants to clear out because sometimes pines have a tendency to fall over and they also rot from the inside and hollow out. And he does have to remove a bunch that's where the septic would go and where the house would go and where the driveway would go. He's already installed the erosion control barrier that we propose that's on the plans. Did you walk and look at the barrier? And the agent was invited to go out. We show a construction entrance on the plans, stone construction entrance down in the front corner. We have somewhat of a construction schedule showed. We have an area on the plan to show disturbed areas, what to do. And we have conservation notes that are on the plan. We show how to build the stabilized construction entrance. There's a top view, a side view up on the right-hand side of the plan. Over in there, you get the stone mat detail is on the right-hand side. The construction sequence is there. There's some conservation notes there. And then there's about disturbed areas should be filled as soon as practical, lumen seed all disturbed areas.
Yeah.
Majority of the work is outside, you can see the 100-foot buffer there, you can see the 100-foot buffer there. Some of the driveways in the 100 right there and the well is in the 100. That's an isolated wetland that's over on that right-hand side as compared to the one in the back that's connected. But we still show the offsets to it and 68 is the closest and the well is 78 feet from there. The applicant is anxious to get some of the trees down because he'd like to be able to get in with the well truck to get the well in.
We can have the need them if we don't do well.
No permits can be established without the well. And the septic can't be finalized without the well.
Great, so I was actually all ready to let him go drill the well and everything ahead of time, but then looked on Mass Mapper and there is a potential vernal pool on the neighboring property. It's pretty far back, so I'm not sure that it's gonna affect it much, but it's not. It wasn't, it's not on the plan, so, and go ahead.
So tonight we went there earlier. And we went to the area where that vernal pool would be. It's 170 feet from the stone wall. It's 30 feet up from the drill hole and then 90 and 170 feet. We also took pictures of the stream bed itself. It's bone dry at this time. And we took a series of, we have a picture of us holding the tape. We have some pictures all the way up through the back of that property.
So did you measure from a vernal pool? I was curious to this direction. Did you
Well,
measure-
what we did was, since we had a marker here with a drill hole, we came up to, we were 90 to the edge of the vernal pool, it was 170 feet to the pool itself. If it is a
So it's off the
possibility,
wall.
so it's off the wall 170 feet. So it's not adjacent to the property.
All right, very good. Yeah, so that was my only really concern with this.
And it's listed as potential, it's not even verified that it is, or certified.
I have a
Um,
question. Do you guys have a DEP number?
No,
And then I think, I don't, we may want some bounds on this one, although they really are pretty far away from the wetland. We could put bounds on the 30-foot.
How much is the slope down here? It looks like it's like 20 feet of slope.
yes, the numbers are called out, here's elevation 90. And down at the wetlands, here's 72, 74, 76.
Yeah, it's,
So it's quite steep there.
Yes,
this is kind of looking, across the hill. They got the erosion controls and it's sloping down toward the wetland. It's not,
Yeah,
it's,
it's not that.
it's not too.
I mean, the house and the septic are up on the level area, there's a plateau up on the top. It goes from 90 to 96 or 98, so it's only 8 foot over 100 up in here. Down in here is where it does slope down to this wetland connects up to here.
So, yeah, so the bounds could go, there's an isolated wetland on one side and the wetland.
We show the isolated wetland here. And we show 30 feet off the closest, then we show the 50 with what would have to deal with the house.
So maybe 2 bounds on the 30 here and then down here. Maybe just 2 down there too, going in the direction of it. What do you guys think?
I think that's enough.
Yeah,
Just
maybe
enough
just
so
walk
that
along the
they
wall.
won't be dumping their yard waste down there or clearing down to the stream, whatever.
Right, and their limit of work is way up, so it gives a nice buffer, I know he was, he has his limit of work here, he was hoping to cut trees to the stone wall. That's within the 50, but I thought that was, I think we're.
The wall was put in here to make sure the cows couldn't leave the upper area and get down into this and get into the mud. That's why it was there, but there's 2 or 3 huge pines in this area that could, in effect, topple onto this house. Once these are gone, the wind starts working on trees that aren't in the center of the forest. But I wanted to make sure that the plan was acceptable, so I made sure I showed the erosion control line here, but it could be moved back to the wall. The wall, the natural barrier, and the trees in this area could come. Do you have a picture of that area, Mary, or just?
No, I just have, for some reason, I just have 2 pictures in here.
Oh, the erosion control looks nice. I like
Yeah,
that.
the erosion controls are great.
So it's already, it's already. He's trying to comply so much that he's already put it up before the hearing even happened, so I don't know how much more, he's a contractor, he's gonna live in town.
Maybe we want you to move it.
Yeah. He's gonna
You just have to wait for your DEP number.
Through the chair, he actually is a contractor, but he wants to move to Upton. He's gonna live on the property. This isn't a spec house. Or a house for a client. This is a house for him to live in. This girl is with him here, so they're here tonight. They wanna move into Upton.
Welcome to the town.
Do you
Yeah,
have one?
so if the board is comfortable allowing him to cut the trees to put his well in and not do any other work, we can do that while we're still waiting for the DEP number, because we can't close the hearing until we get the DEP.
I'm comfortable with that.
That's fine.
And Mary, I have a question. Do they have the green cards?
They did submit
We sent you electronically,
the
copy of the
certificate of mailing.
certificate of mail.
If you, were there green cards? We just did certificate of.
We just did certificate.
That's fine.
Sent
Excellent.
them to you. We sent them to your attention. We emailed them over so that it would be part of the file.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I have another one at 8:10. We did the same for that.
Was everyone okay with them cutting the trees?
Yeah.
Excellent. So we definitely will have to continue this to our next meeting on the 28th. And hopefully by then we'll have the DEP number. And then having the bounds on the plans. And anything else, Mary?
I think that's it.
Okay, so what time do you think is good for the train?
Shall we do 7 o'clock?
Sounds good.
7.
Can I ask that question again? Do you want me to alter the plan to show the bounds locations on them, or do you want the bounds to go in first and then show them later on the final?
Let's put on the plan. I think that's always a good idea.
Okay,
We can do both.
all right. No, I can.
So you got that
I can understand. It said that it's at the corner bend over here and it's at the corner bend over here. And then two of them down here at the edge of the corner and then on the straight.
on the 30-foot.
Yeah, on the 30-foot line.
Okay.
Those are regular concrete bounds?
Yeah. Yep, 4x4, and then we have markers that.
Going to Papa.
no one chop.
Okay. 4 by 4 by 4 feet.
Four
Okay,
by- And then, yeah, it is 4x4. It is 4 feet deep. They stick out 18 inches.
Okay,
And they're mostly.
well, that's because some of the survey bounds we put in near roads and stuff, we put them almost flush with the snow plow on it.
Right.
So, but you want them to be able to be seen, so you want them up 18 inches, okay, that's why I asked. the
Right,
question.
so people know.
Right,
I don't dump my waste down here and we don't clear down here.
and we don't go by there with the 4-wheeler.
Well, sometimes you can't.
Yeah, well, I'm sure when the kids are sliding down the back, but I don't think the bounce is gonna stop.
Just-
Cause that's gonna be a great sliding hill.
I have a 15-year-old and 11-year-old, so.
There you go.
You'll be back after we take them out because the kids bang into it. Get a concussion. Have we had that? We did have that one.
We all set now?
yes,
Continue there.
All right,
Okay, well done.
so continue to the next meeting.
You had to vote to continue?
I think it's a good idea. to do it.
I make a motion to continue till 7 o'clock, 2 weeks from now, which is the.
20.
Second.
all in favor? Chris, aye.
Aye.
Sandy, aye.
Marcella, I.
Thank you very much for your time. I know you're all volunteers.
Thank you so much. Nice to meet you guys.
Thank you.
See you on the-
We have a certificate of compliance for Upland Ridge DP number 311-0726.
Anyone from Upton Ridge on?
Yeah.
There's somebody out in the hall, unless it's the folks that are. Okay, the deck, is that next? No,
Upton Ridge.
Upton Ridge.
Mary, I briefly looked at, there's some improvements.
Are you up to Ridge?
I'm sorry?
Are you up to Ridge?
I'm
Not
Glenn Ray.
The much
Wildwood.
yard.
Oh.
In what the
Is it at the right spot?
Just
hold on.
just wasn't down.
Somebody ahead of you.
We just downstairs, okay, no problem. We got plenty of time, so take your time, we're just downstairs.
Do you know who, if the Upton Ridge was coming?
Yeah, so Dave Ferrara is here. I think he's a panelist now.
Excellent.
Yes, hello, can you hear me?
Yep.
Hi, yes, yeah, my name is Dave Farrar. I'm with Marshonda and Associates. We're representing the developer on this project. And we'd like to ask for a certificate of compliance to be issued
Just
tonight.
like, please, you
Yeah, you were gonna allow us to take the trees. Can he bring the well truck in and sink the well too? Okay,
Yes.
just wanna make sure we don't do anything without the board on.
Thanks for asking.
Trees, the
Yeah.
well, the bounds.
Sorry, Dave.
Yeah, no problem at all. Yeah, so I would like to ask the board if they would vote on issuing the certificate of compliance tonight. We have removed all the erosion control that was there, and some of the plants have been replanted, excuse me, and the landscaping companies are aware of the limits of work now. And I believe those were all of the outstanding items pertaining specifically to the order of conditions.
Mary, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I took a site walk and actually took pictures in my agent report. The erosion control removal looked good, the bittersweet removal in the replication area looked good. And actually someone from the homeowners association happened to stop by today and we had a chat about the encroachments, et cetera, and they're very aware of them and I think they really want to make sure that everyone abides by the edge of the wetland. So I think, and the homeowners association certainly seem, they're workable, they understand, and we talked a little bit about, not dumping, your leftover potted plants in the woods and stuff like that. So they seem to understand, what's going on, so. I think the only, the CR is still with the state, and once that's approved with them, does it then go to town meeting, et cetera?
Well, it goes to, the selectmen have to sign it and the commission have to sign this one
Okay,
at some point.
but then we're done with it,
And then the secretaries, well, the locals sign first,
okay,
the grantor, the grantees, and then the state
and then the state signs
will
it.
sign.
But so that's still in process, but that would be the only thing. So you could potentially issue a partial or just issue a full.
So, can I just interject here? The conservation restriction, I believe, was separate. It's not one of the conditions of the order conditions. We have filed all the paperwork with the state and everything is totally in the state's court. We're waiting on them. So I would like to ask for a full certificate of compliance rather than just the partial.
The CR was probably a planning board requirement, right? Since this is open space development, and the land is going to be held by the homeowners association, then the CR is required, I think, under the planning board, right? So, I would be, I think, Mary, unless anyone has any objections, I would issue, final.
That's fine.
We're all aware of the backlog of CRs at the state, so some decade from now.
Do you have other questions or comments from the commission? Or from the audience? So, for the commission, what are our feelings? To issue a partial or a full? Mary, what do you recommend?
I think it's fine to issue a full. Okay.
Make a motion to issue a certificate of compliance for what numbers?
Do you have a second?
726.
726.
Second,
Okay, let's do a voice vote. Chris, I.
Tom,
Alan, I.
Sandy, I.
Marcella, I.
That's a unanimous vote of the commission. And so we will sign that and Mary will let you know when it's ready.
Okay, Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, have a good night.
You too. Now, we request for determination of applicability for 10 Wildwood Ave, installation of a deck.
Hey, well,
Yeah.
you want to here?
Yeah.
You want up?
Thank you.
I'm doing.
Well, how are you?
Good.
And Mary will just need to read the public announcement first.
Yes, thank you for the reminder. Notice is hereby given in accordance with the Wetlands Protection Act. The Upton Conservation Commission will hold the following public meeting on Wednesday, August 14th at 8 p.m. on RDA filed by Delane Wright for the construction of a deck at 10 Wildwood. The benefit of those who are on note, we have this plan.
Okay, let's hear from the applicant or your engineer, please.
Is that you?
Looks like. Are you pulling that? Yeah, there it is. So the green is the roof of the existing house. And our goal is to build a deck. And it's the brown I put in there. What's that?
Two sides of the house.
Yeah, it would be the front, so the front is at the bottom of the screen there. And the side is close to the water, you can see the water, there's about 25 foot of clearance between the water and the side of the deck.
Is the area right now, is that lawn?
No, it's kind of a bank that goes down to the water.
You have a picture of that, don't you, Mary?
I do.
Looks like it.
It's like pine needles and stuff.
Yeah. I
So-
saw that.
Yeah,
This
there
is
you go.
the current area.
What
And
was
it's-
there before?
Well, I guess I have. That's all the picture.
Yeah.
It was, you know, kind of like, it wasn't really maintained as long, it was kind of wild-ish, you know?
Marsh.
Yeah,
And there's a lot of rocks and a lot of moss and
so it's, yeah,
the home's been there a long time. My parents purchased it a couple months, probably 3 months ago.
We've
So
been
they're
out quite until the last 20 years, we just had a reason we had to move. And we want the town, so we love the area, we love Wildwood, we've done a lot to improve it.
Sure.
Is
For the
the deck
small
coming
houses,
out
there's-
to looks like a wall there, is the deck coming out to there?
That's actually just a pile of stones.
Oh,
There's
I
a
think
lot
there's
of,
a stake right here, this is a stake, right, you had it staked out?
yeah, so pretty much that tree
Stake.
just to the left,
Yeah.
where the
Yeah,
end of the
oh,
pile of stones is.
That's this,
It'd be a 14
Stake
foot
right
deck,
there.
so the house
oh,
is,
yeah, there.
yeah, it's big, and I think my main questions with this deck are, you know, it's a nice deck, obviously, they could potentially, it could be not quite as wide, one thing you could do. And the other thing you could do is off the back of the home, there's a lot more, it's a lot much further from the water, so that's another idea too, it looks like they have you guys putting a patio in down
there's
there?
gonna be a ground patio there, I get, the house right now is small, and obviously keeping the characters like in their best interest, so we wanted to try and do that without going and trying building up or anything like that, but having a deck, the goal is to add more usable space and put a table out there. So,
And to protect it.
How wide is the proposed deck along the water?
obviously for the view, it's a better view.
No, but how wide it?
Oh, how wide?
How wide?
14 feet.
14 feet,
Yeah.
and then it's 30 feet long. Yeah, so
That's-
it's,
Do you think about closing it in and making it 3-season or something?
We hadn't talked about that, I think it'd be a little more intrusive to do that, just from a aesthetic standpoint.
And we wanna kind of keep it as a summer place where we, use it all the time, of course, we're doing it to a high standard. But, so we hadn't thought of putting in 3-4, I didn't know it was an option.
No,
We
I
did-
just
we did-
wondered.
Yeah, we did wanna, we do tend to protect over the properties, and we've done that a number of times, and, you know, a lot of people said, why, you should just start over, and we said, no, it's not, we wanna take what's there, you know?
A lot of from, I mean, obviously times change, but just from paddling around and kayaking, trying to figure out what, you know, aesthetically would fit the pond. A lot of people have these decks up the side, but then they step down into like a dock. I don't think that would be an option, that's why we didn't propose it, but to get something with enough space to have like a seating area and room to move around it. It's
How many
where we ended.
trees will you need to
We won't need to bring any more trees down.
Right, he trimmed a bunch of trees already,
We did a lot of trimming just to, we put a new roof on one
and I
bit.
think removed a few. on-
We removed, yeah, 3. Some, 2 of them were dead.
This one.
That one might die.
That one might die. Yeah, the other aspect to this project is when I did the site visit, I discovered they had excavated this area because they're for mini splits, right?
We have to put some kind of heating or cooling in there, so it looked like the front, obviously, you don't want to put it in the front, you can't put it on the roof because of the pitch. And so all the quotes I got said that's pretty much your spot.
So
but-
for putting in mini splits, you need to do an excavation.
Well, you have to flatten the ground out and get it under the window line there, so it's not just. I guess not necessary, but
Because I put mini splits in and we didn't have to do that.
you have to have a flat, you have to put a flat pad down.
Right, you have to put a path.
Yeah, so we dropped it down about 3.5 feet right there.
Could you get away with a little less than 14 feet? It's quite kind of a lot.
You know, that's where, I mean, we're here, we wanna work with you, and if you think that's too much, you know, we do wanna make it. There's not a good place other than that, we're gonna make a spot on the back with the bluestone, you know, it would be nice to be able to go and have dinner, or have a seating area out there.
14 by 32, that's.
Oh, why is it
Nice
picnic
area.
table, like, well, so. Picnic tables maybe about 4.
They're 8 by 4 usually, but then the seats come out a little bit
So
longer.
you need to be able. I don't think 14's.
You
No,
wanna be able to walk it around it.
Yeah,
I,
exactly.
I don't think the difference between 12 and 14 is a big
Is
deal.
that the house or is that the neighbor?
So this is the house before they, they've done a lot of work on it, it looks really good. So this was before they were doing work, and so this is the back, the deck, the proposed deck is going on the side, so they do have, this is like a 3-season porch already, right?
Yeah,
That's off there.
And it's 4 seasons, I mean, you can use it,
Oh, is it?
it's
four
just got a
season?
nice
Yeah,
window.
it's just got the nice windows, and it's on the foundation, right, it's not like.
Yeah.
it's-
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I'm fine with me too, what.
I don't have any more questions.
I'm fine.
Yeah, and so it's gonna be like 14 sonotubes or whatever, and I just.
Yeah, 14 sonotubes, I talked to them about this, yeah.
Or helical piles.
They wanted to lean towards the sonotubes unless there's a big issue, but I did tell them I'd be digging it with them by hand, so I'll make sure that gets done. And then. Yeah, other than that, that was the.
So will there be erosion controls up for that, or is it on the other side of the house?
No, this is right next to the lake, so.
Did you get the picture I sent you earlier of the retaining?
I haven't looked at it yet.
Once I realized that maybe I shouldn't have dug away a little bit of that area.
Yeah, that's right, he fixed it. He's very quick.
Any questions or comments from the commission?
So we'll put a silt fence up.
Yeah.
Around the work.
Hearing none, Mary, what's your recommendation?
Negative determination of applicability, 3 and 6.
Okay.
And the erosion controls. And done by hand.
Make a motion to close the hearing and issue a negative determination 3 and 6.
Second,
Okay, let's do a voice vote. Chris, I.
I.
Alan, I.
Sandy, I.
Marcella, I.
That's a unanimous vote of the commission. So nice job. Now, Mary will let you know when the orders are ready, and then you can get started when she's done. And thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you so
everybody.
much.
Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very
We'll
much.
see you later.
So far, it's all good. We're just waiting for the problem.
Don't think that.
Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Enjoy taking on phones.
It's 8:10.
Otherwise.
I know
Walk out this big guy and weighed 80 pounds.
You waited?
No, I tried picking it up
How did you know it was 80 pounds?
because
You can tell 80 pounds?
I work out. I know what it is.
It wasn't just a big rock.
It's big rock. I had a hard time getting it out of the hole.
No, 810, we have notice of intent for High Street. Construction of a single family home and wetland crossing.
Yes, it's a busy night. Notice is hereby given in accordance with the Wetlands Protection Act. The Conservation Commission will hold the following public hearing on Wednesday, August 14th, 8:10 p.m. A notice of intent filed by Lorville Santos for the construction of a single family home with an intermittent brook crossing at 0 High Street.
Back.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't put you back to back.
That's all right.
Wasn't that organized.
Laurel just got here, so it was good.
High Street is this?
Right there.
Next to 12 started, the house that fell down.
Oh, on the corner?
Yeah, right. Well,
For the record, my name is David Sadowski. I'm the principal of DJ and Associates. I'm here with the applicant, Lorville Santos, to construct a single-family house with septic system at 0 High Street. It's actually adjacent to the property at 12 Stoddard, the house that fell down. Lorville also owns that house.
fell down.
It was one, what was it, 100-something years old, and we were refurbishing.
Wow. So. What can you tell us?
More information needed here.
Well, 12 Stoddard has been all the, that isn't this meeting right now, but that, all of that material has been cleaned up at the site. Taken away, the foundation is now exposed, and I don't know how far along you are with the building. It's got an existing barn that's acts as a garage now that's in there. So this piece is next to it. It was formed in 1949. Selden was the lady's property since that time. So Louisville had the option to purchase it, and he did. Yeah. So we put together a septic plan. We went out, we soil tested with the agent. We put together a septic plan. The house stays, there's no structures within 50 feet. And there's no disturbance within 30, other than the driveway needs to cross. There's an intermittent brook in the front that the driveway needs to cross. So I guess we're gonna have to ask for a waiver for because we're gonna be within 30 feet with the crossing of the driveway. And then that for the no disturb, for 50, the driveway will be gone. Mary had put together a letter that I got earlier today. We had done some detail work. Again, it would be the same construction type entrance that I showed on Sebastio's plan, would be going in here. Problem is that High Street is a county highway and there's a new sidewalk and granite that's been installed in the front of it. That has to go through DPW. We have a open bottom box culvert. And I didn't include it on here, I have to show how it meets performance standards for a stream crossing. It has to be 1.2 times the bank. It's a 4-foot crossing now, so the box culvert will probably increase to 6 feet. That way it will be over the 1.2. So the land that he owns underwater in that area won't be disturbed. All that will be disturbed through there would be the buffer zone. You can see the flags are hung. They were hung by Matt Morrow. Matt's done work in this town before in other places too. So we would have a disturbance going up through, I've included some details to show the culvert, the box culvert. And they would have those 2x2x4 blocks that you'd be able to walk in with a machine and build those on either side after the box culvert got put down and put the driveway through. It wouldn't be more than 2 or 3 feet high, the driveway in between the blocks. So the wall itself would never exceed more than 4 feet or 5 feet, so it'd be 1 or 2, maybe 3, because you have to sink one of the blocks halfway in the dirt for stability. So I show a look coming in from the highway. I show a look if you were standing in the dry stream bed, and I show the box culvert dimensions. So that will have to be revised. I show a detail of some types of planting for replication. We have 2 areas for replication. One is adjacent to the crossing where we'll be able to dig the soil right up by hand and take it over. And before we do that, clear the area out, bring it down maybe 8 inches, 9 inches, so that soil can become hydric. And we'll be able to accept the wetland plants and take the plants from this area right here. And unlike you'd take a kid would go sliding on the plastic, put 3 or 4 on and bring them over to the area and plant them right in. The other area, so that we maintain, because when we create a new wetland, we still have to have 100 feet off the septic. We'll be up in this area here. And that would be able to make it so the septic would not violate the 100 feet. Those plantings could go in there. I know Mary had a question about how much square footage of the buffer actually. With the box culvert, some of that area wouldn't be disturbed because the culvert would be going up and over the stream bed itself, but I'll have to take a look, because I think I calculated it on the 8-foot wide driveway going through instead of including the blocks. So I'll have to take a look at the blocks minus the culvert and see what that square footage comes up to.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that, whether I would think you would include the area under the culvert, because even though you're not trying to disturb it, I don't know, what do you guys think? What's that? It's alteration, so that would classify for, the replication area totals, I would.
Okay, because I wasn't sure that if we put the box over, because we don't want to disturb the land underwater.
Right.
That's one thing we don't want to touch. It's in that area there's not a flood zone, but there is a buffer to the wetland. And so we have the wetland all flagged and delineated out. And then the 100-foot buffer goes off of the delineated wetland. I wanted Matt to come back on that area further up. You can see the house on 12 Stoddard, and you can see our second replication area. In there was only a tree line that was further back from where the actual brook was. I'd like him to come in with a little metal, sometimes take a metal piece that you put in with the flag on it and you write the number on it, and make an evaluation if the wetland line actually could move out more towards the brook area itself instead of being back, because he used the first solid tree that he could find for his flag. So if that's the case, then we would have more area for replication and we could widen that area down in there. So I'd like to have him revisit that area itself right there, just to make sure, because we're gonna have to ask for continuous. We don't have a DEP file number to begin with, but there's still other questions that I have to show the performance of the stream crossing itself. Show that it meets DEP standards, and then there's a few other things. And I have to write up some paperwork to ask for the waiver for work in the 30 and work in the 50, because we have the box culvert and we have the crossing for the driveway that are gonna be in that area. That are
Well,
supposed
and
to.
that's one thing, especially, I don't know that I didn't measure the stream width. And maybe that's something you could have Matt Morrow look at more closely,
Yeah.
because the 4-foot box culvert might be okay. I'm not sure that it's 4 feet wide. It could be 3.5 feet wide, and that would.
Right.
That would make it okay, because he didn't delineate the bank. He
No.
just delineated the edge of the wetland, which is mostly fine, except where that crossing is gonna.
Right, and we actually have a survey point up in that area because we knew where we'd have to go almost, because of how wide and how whatever. So we'd be able to take and be able to stake the center line through there in case we wanna do a sidewalk. And also we could measure the bank in there. I know that we had Linda put some boots on and go right down through the brook. We had some water in it then. We had to go down with
Right.
the high muck boots and pull the rod every 15 feet or whatever. There was a little bend or a little whatever, and then shoot it and then tell me with a ruler, so many feet to the bank this side, so many feet that side, as we was going down the road.
Yeah.
You know, so the septic is on the property, it meets the setbacks, the house meets the setbacks.
Yeah.
Lurville will be doing the construction, he's the applicant, and he'll be on site doing that work also. We knew we'd be in front of you for the first time, there'd be some questions. I have a construction sequence that's a lot more steps, a lot more construction notes than on the previous plan. It wasn't, I didn't just take notes from one and the other. I made sure that we went through, we ran a survey on the property because I'm a civil engineer and I'm also a land surveyor. So we ran the closure on the property too to get the property lines established. We have one neighbor up on the right hand side. I don't know if he's online tonight or not. Anyways, I'm done with my presentation. Thank you.
Show you guys.
So the house is 13 feet from the property line?
Yes, it's a 10-foot setback. It works best with the driveway. The more over that the house went with the driveway on this side, there's a huge ledge outcrop in this area right here. So the driveway would come to it and bend over and come up. It would be less intrusive because the brook itself comes over into here. So the further we kept the house this way, the further from the resource area we are. You can see how we have the 30 and the 50.
Right.
Then we're outside of that. So the more that we keep sliding the house towards this part of the property. You know, with the 30 and the 50, further we, it comes this way, it'll get closer and closer to that 50 foot. We tried to stay away from that. Also, the septic is 100 feet.
So let's talk through the replication area a little bit. So you're thinking of digging up replication areas by hand, not using a
Yes.
machine?
Yes.
That's okay.
With the shovel.
Yeah.
Well, some of the, maybe I thought the wrong thing. The plants for the replication area will be dug by hand.
Right.
But some of that area to pull that material back would have to be,
Yeah. That's what I was wondering.
yeah, to take it, a little mini to take it back.
The digging.
Yeah.
Yeah, jump right from that.
Yeah.
No, because what's the use?
But
Dig out.
it's gonna have to go, and we picked some flat areas so that once we get 8 or 9 inches, we'll be down to that zone where only 14 inches from the water table. So anything that's within 14, 13, we'll get a rust color, that's a hydric soil.
Right.
So once we have hydric, we can grow the plants.
What I would like you to do though is that wetland topsoil that you're digging
Save
out
it?
of the crossing, save that for your replication.
Yes,
Yeah, I'm
yes.
planning on doing that.
That's why I'm saying that we'll take it and slide it over and use it over there. All that material, the same material that made the wetland grow where the crossing is, will go into the replication, we'll make sure that goes over. It's less expensive to do that, and he's got enough people that need something to do.
Yeah, and I think they were also planning to try to save plants from where they dug up and I think that's okay.
And then I supplied some additional plants on top of that if we don't.
Yes.
If everything doesn't take, there's some additional ones listed, they're even shown over here, I even put the Latin names in on that side there, so.
And for the replication area, what % needs to, after 2 years?
Right, and that'll be in the order of conditions. I think it's like 75% for like trees and shrubs, although it'll probably mostly be shrubs
Yes.
and. Like when you go to pick what plants to move, I was thinking
I
of
would-
smaller shrubs
Yeah.
and like ferns and skunk cabbage, stuff like that. Like I don't think anything big will probably make it.
And cut them back to, like,
Right.
you're whacking the root system, remember what you do, so then you should cut back the top too, so that there's not too much top supported by that. Too many
Okay.
roots.
Yeah. And so.
Yeah, so just to make it clear to Laurelville, for the next 2 years,
Yes.
once a year, they'll
Yes,
revisit
yeah.
in the growing season and see what is actually happening. If you have to replace more
Yes.
and fill in to keep the wetland.
Right, and typically we ask like maybe Matt Morrow can come back and do a report on how it's doing. You'll make sure that you get down to the right elevation.
Yes. And I'm certified for hydrosoils too, I'm a soil scientist, soil, licensed soil evaluator, licensed Title V inspector. I went to, I don't know if you guys ever went to Stockbridge School of Agriculture or UMass Amherst.
I went to UMass.
Okay.
Stockbridge.
Yeah, and they, out there I get the soil certification program. They also have the golf course management down on the Connecticut River. It was a great school. I just did it 6-7 years ago.
Oh,
I went to UMass Dartmouth to get my civil engineering degree a long time ago. You want to tell you how old I am, really?
Couple of things, permanent condition will be no invasive species after the end of 2 years. Yeah, so just, pull anything up.
No bamboo.
Yeah, no,
Not
we don't, that's regular use. And the other thing, probably talk about bounds.
Yeah. Yeah, I think in this property, you probably need a lot of bounds.
Erosion control, you mean?
No, you put the cement, concrete bounds.
Okay.
Upset, so that nobody goes inside that, makes any disturbance, and nobody goes trampling, nobody goes walking, nobody disturbs. Or yard waste clippings, or any stockpiling of anything.
Right, and actually, this reminds me, another question I have is, I really appreciate the really tight work area that you put in here, but I wonder, Verval, are you gonna be able to, I mean, does it need to be a little bit bigger for your labor? It's a question that I have. The erosion controls it's very tight, I mean, you could go out a little bit further out toward the 50-foot here, we appreciate the fact that it's really tight in here, but, they could be moved out a little bit.
Yeah, so if I can, if you allow me, I would move out.
Well, I wanted to respect the commission.
Well, of course.
And I can't
I think, just, you can move them out a little bit, because. So you're gonna have a lawn area, just basically where the septic is,
Yes.
right? Yeah, I mean, it's great to keep the rest of this
Yes.
natural. If you need to move it out a little bit to
Okay.
maneuver your,
Thank you.
yeah, we can,
Well, the front corner of the house was tight too, and it was tight.
Yeah, you guys can move it, if you need.
Can you go to the 50?
It certainly can go to the 50,
Thank you.
yeah.
Alright, that will give us another 4 feet, and that, right now it's 6 on the corner, that will give us 10 on the corner.
Yeah, and if you need to pop into that 50, because this 50-foot is a no build, so you could pop into that a little bit.
Go to 45 then?
Yeah, you could certainly do that.
Alright, that would be best, and you know what, I'll create an area. To show a stockpile area too.
Right, that was, because I figured you.
Over here to this side of the driveway, that way through the construction entrance, you can get picked up right away and taken right out.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to put it somewhere else in the site where it might road and go down, if you put it over here, it would just go right down the driveway.
Yeah, and I think we probably want a series of bounds, starting here.
Do you want to mark the plan?
It is just approximately, like here, I don't know, the board.
That way I can add them right to the plan for the next.
We have other, and then certainly one right next to the driveway, here. The board makes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe there's another, spots.
Yeah, I have a question. Do you guys have your DEP number?
No,
Because we cannot close without that. And
no,
also,
we're not even close to closing.
okay, how about the green cards?
Again, I sent the certified mailings.
Okay, thank you.
There's the bounds all along.
Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, the wetland goes.
Yeah.
all the way, so another
And
one. right
it's even, it's
here.
well, it's in the stream.
Sure, on the other side too. The wetland flag go here. I guess 3-foot was right there. This is the property line.
Yeah.
You don't need them on the other side. No.
Say the.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rounds. Yeah, I guess that it might be tempting to put lawn debris and stuff off that.
Okay. Thank you.
Do you have other comments from the commission? Or from the audience? Mary, anything else you'd like to mention?
No, I think we've covered everything.
Okay, so I would say we need to continue this for our next meeting, which is the 28th. And we need revised plans. So what time do you think, Mary, on the 28th?
We can do 7:15,
Sounds good.
and then
So-
you'll be back for the hearing.
So you're gonna keep.
Let me check my schedule. I'm clear at 7, but not 7:15.
Probably go at 7:15 anyway.
Yeah, I think.
This meeting is
Although,
continued.
I'm sorry.
So I'll make a, can you do hear me? Then like High Street until 7:15.
7:15.
On whatever day that is.
Okay, do we have a second?
August 28th.
Second,
Okay, let's do a voice vote. Chris, I.
I.
Sandy,
Alan,
I.
I.
Marcella, I.
Good job.
Thank you. Mary, did you get a copy of these?
I know I did for the other, I'm not sure on this one.
Do you want me just to give you these?
Sure. I'll take them.
Here's a. Keep them all together. Always
Okay.
come. Always. Never made eagle, but I made money. No, we needed 5 merit badges, 10, and then 21, and I only get the 16.
You know, we can still work.
Yeah, they should allow.
Why not? I just became a soil scientist. I'm not really good in scale.
That's gonna be worth it, Merit Badge.
Yeah, I think so.
There might be some,
2 or 3.
maybe stream crossing, and I get farmers.
Okay, 8:30, we have this intent for 4 Brookside.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thank you, Max. You sign
Construction. No,
Does it just an attendance?
a round pole. So. 8:30, that's intent for 4 Brookside. Which is the construction of a round pool. With outdoor patio. And kitchen.
Was last one, all the things.
Alright, I can read the notice for that, Hi. Notice is hereby given in accordance with the Wetlands Protection Act that the Upton Conservation Commission will hold the following public hearing on Wednesday, August 14th. At 8:30 PM, a notice of intent filed by Robert Pantanzillos, for the construction of an in-ground swimming pool with associated infrastructure at 4 Brookside Street. And I believe we have Tom Schutz here representing the applicant.
Yes, Tom Schutz from Goddard Consulting here on behalf of Rob Pantazellos at 4 Brookside Street in Upton. Do you mind bringing him in as a panelist as well, just in case he has any questions that he can answer as well during the question and answer session? I think he's Rob P. as attendee.
So I'm supposed to share this.
Perfect, thank you. So tonight I have a brief presentation for you. This is a notice of intent for the addition of a pool, patio, and associated infrastructure at 4 Brookside Street. This is, to start, an ortho photo of the property. So you can see this is sort of a strange shaped property here. This is Brookside Street, following my cursor right here. This single family house driveway runs to the south where it connects to the single family house located on the eastern portion of the site. We have a large lawn, which encompasses most of the center of the site right here. Resource areas on site include a bordering vegetated wetland, which is down here following my cursor to the south of the single family house and lawn. It continues up to the west and then also encompasses much of the northern portion of the site as well. Additionally, there is a perennial stream, which can be seen in the ortho photo right here following my cursor, which casts 200-foot riverfront area onto the locust site. However, this will not be incorporated into the project as it is not within the scope of where the notice of intent and pool will be located. So here is our single family lot here. This is an existing conditions plan. As you can see, this blue line right here is flagging that I did back in May. The wetlands follow all the way down and around into the north of the site. We have Calf Pond Brook, which is the perennial stream located in the western portion of the site, casting the 200-foot riverfront area onto it. That is shown in the this light color here. The proposed project is up here in the corner. Let me just zoom in on this so everybody can see it better. The applicant proposes an in-ground pool, proposed patio and kitchen area, which is located to the right of the proposed in-ground pool. There will also be a proposed cabana with associated grading located to the south. We're going to have a pervious aggregate area which will surround the entirety of the proposed in-ground pool. And then additionally, there will be a patio that will surround the in-ground pool just to act as a pool deck. To the south of the proposed project, we're going to have a 3,400 square foot mitigation area, which will be complete with 9 flowering dogwoods, 9 high bush blueberry, 9 sweet pepper bush, and 9 witch hazels, which can be seen laid out in this configuration adjacent to the existing wetland line. These are native species that were found on the site, which will add to the native aesthetic of the surrounding forest and wetland line. And we believe that this is ample mitigation for the proposed work within the buffer zone to the project. One final note is this project is exempt from the Upton wetland bylaw as the single family house was built and constructed prior to the year set in the bylaw. So there is no 50-foot buffer zone in this case. It's just incorporated onto the site plan for visual purposes. If you have any questions at this point, I would be happy to answer them. Other than that, we are requesting an order of conditions for the proposed work.
Thank you. Okay, Mary, what are your comments?
I just had very few minor comments. The plan, indicated hay bales, use straw wattles instead of hay bales. And then just, a basic kind of design comment, the cabana, is kind of getting closer to the wetland. I believe Upton, before they had their bylaw, they had kind of a 30-foot no disturb kind of policy, right? So there, I think the closest disturbance is 21 feet. So with the grading, so, it's just kind of a, could the cabana be moved at all? To the other side, just a question. Seems like it might require more grading, but just something for the board to consider and the applicant to consider. Otherwise, I think the mitigation looks great. And I guess I did have some questions on the timing. It looks with the grading and stuff and where the limit of work is, it seems like you'll have to start the mitigation area after most of the grading is complete, right? Instead of starting it. Typically, we like to have things started, about the same time as construction, but it looks like in this case, you'll have to wait until, you get the other elements in.
Yeah, Mary, do you mind if I respond to some of those?
Sure, yep.
So the cabana unfortunately cannot be moved to the western side of the property. Not only will it create more grading because this is a hill that the property is currently built on. So this will be the most minor grading that's possible to fit the cabana in. So we'll have several more feet of grading within the buffer zone if we put it on the western side. Additionally, there's a lot of utility pipes that are going to be going into the cabana and then the associated kitchen area. And those two areas are connected underground. So if we were to move it over to the other side, it would just create a hassle for the utilities and creation of the pool as well. Those would have to be routed around the pool and the pool infrastructure. So that's why it was designed this way, is just to keep the amount of pipes and utility infrastructure for both the cabana and the kitchen area as small as possible when constructing, so we wouldn't have run into any headaches and have to come back to the Conservation Commission in the future for the revising of the plan to move the cabana to another portion of the lot. So that was the one thing. Additionally, we certainly would like to start the mitigation area as soon as possible. As you just brought up, the erosion control barrier is certainly through the middle of it. We want to make, we'll start the mitigation area as soon as our grading is complete here and this is stabilized, so then we can put the plants in. Additionally, I think that'll line up perfectly with the planting season of next spring when this work is anticipated. We don't want to plant the plants during the winter when some of this work might be taking place, just because they won't root properly, and then we won't really have a mitigation area. It'll just be more of a area where there's some dead plants. We'll have to keep planting until we get it right. So we want to get it in during the spring planting season to get those properly planted and growing nicely. I think there was some other comments. One comment was the roof cabana is going to be, any runoff from that will be directed into a catch basin, which would be used for the watering of the lawn. That'll be a tank underneath either the patio or adjacent to it. It's not currently shown on the plan, but can be. And additionally, the septic system for the cabana is going to be piped directly to the existing septic system on the site. I don't believe there is allowed to be two septic systems on a single family house lot, so there'll have to be piping from the cabana to our septic tank and then over to our septic leaching field. So those are two separate things. That'll also include further permitting with the Board of Health, but I don't believe that is a conservation issue. Does that answer the majority of the questions?
Proposed retaining wall, where exactly, it says proposed retaining wall, where is that going to be?
Sorry, I'm trying to find the
Bottom, to the right, bottom.
right here. So the proposed retaining
That's it.
wall is gonna run adjacent to the mitigation area right here, following my cursor.
Okay, that's what I was wondering, because I couldn't tell where it was, but it looked like it was running through the mitigation here.
Nope, it's following my cursor right here. It's to allow for the construction of this outdoor kitchen area.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
I think I'd like to maybe have a little discussion about bounds. I know I'm not bounds right next to the cabana area, but further to the left and down along the wetland line.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure that
well,
Rob would like to have some input, but I think he would be amenable to having some kind of stone or granite bound be added to. What buffer zone would you like to see it off of?
Well, 30 foot, ideally.
Absolutely.
I understand we'll get 30 foot everywhere, but where it's possible, we can get 30 feet.
Okay, and how would the spacing be for those?
This is a really big lot, so you think about, and because the wetland is rather extensive, are we just gonna do around the pool or? It's a big lot.
That's a good question.
So maybe
But at least near this developed area. And then the other question I have, just like long-term maintenance, I think we should probably condition it to allow the to be maintained as a, maybe a shrubby area. I mean, you don't want a big tree growing up right next to your. So have some provision for vegetation management that is compatible with your development. You know what I mean? I know you're planting shrubs here, but red maple will show up very quickly, and in 20 years you can have a tree.
We certainly appreciate that comment. And yeah, I think that would be a good special condition for the order of conditions. These plants were just specifically chosen because they don't get very tall, but I do know where you're coming from with the red maple, and I think that would be a good special condition to add to the order of conditions.
Now, my usual question, do you have a DEP number?
No, we do not have a DEP file number at this point. I know that DEP has been very slow on issuing. I noticed that when I was checking the portal that several projects in Upton don't have DEP file numbers at this point, so we're still waiting for it.
Thank you. And how about the green cards?
The green cards I do have, I can forward those to Mary. We use certificates of mailing for this project. So those will be forwarded. I have them scanned. I'll send those to Mary.
Okay, thank you. And
Absolutely.
other questions from the commission? Mary, do you have any other questions or comments?
Not really. I don't know if you guys want to see pictures from the report or.
Sure, I'd like to see pictures.
Yeah. Get those up. And you guys may remember that this project came up as they had started work, not realizing they were within the buffer zone. So they've been waiting all summer, not having a swimming pool. To get this permitted. So this is looking at the area that was, they had cut down a bunch of trees right up to the edge of the wetland. And so this is the disturbed area, which is already nicely grassed in, and this is the work they had begun, pool area. And this is from a different angle, looking at the pool area and the house, the existing retaining walls. And I believe these stakes are for some of the work. And this is just standing near the pool area, looking into the wetland. And I think, oh yeah, I did include it. This is a picture I took in May when it was first discovered, and the disturbed area is more obvious at that point. It's got cabbage there, disturbed area. So maybe it's just a suggestion on bounds. Maybe we'll want to have bounds a little bit above the pool area because that's kind of closer to the house, and then maybe 50 to 75 foot below or something like that.
We compensate for the tightness.
Right.
Yeah.
So it might be nice for the next hearing to have the on the plans.
Okay, yeah, we could certainly ask the engineer to add the bounds to the plans. Is there a spacing that you'd like to see? I know you said you wanted to see them 75 feet. Is that beyond the limit of work, or is that within it as well?
I was thinking just, 75 feet beyond the edge of the work, just away, toward the brook, toward the Tap Pond Brook. Just to get and the bounds can be, what do you guys usually think, 40 or 50 feet apart?
Places where there's
a turn.
Or where there's a turn.
Okay.
Wetland line on the 30 foot line. Yeah, so, yeah, I think the wetland line is gently curving here, so we can space them relatively evenly. So here, it may just be 4 or 5.
Great, that works.
Any other questions or comments? It's Mary, what time would this be continue till?
It's 7:30.
Okay. So do a motion to continue this to 7:30 on August 28th.
Second,
Okay, let's do a voice vote. Chris, aye.
Tom, I.
Alan, aye.
Marcella, I.
Excellent, yes, vote of the commission. Thank you very much.
Thank
for
you.
doing this presentation. We'll see you on the 28th.
Yep.
Thank you. Now, 8:50 with. Okay. Robertson CR, Mechanic Street. Amended normal conditions. 311-0808. Property
Alright.
and tra-
Oh, go ahead, Chris. All right, 8:50, notice is hereby given in accordance with the Wetlands Protection Act. The Hampton Conservation Commission will hold the following public hearing on Wednesday, August 14th at 8:50 PM. Amended order of conditions, DEP number 311-808, filed by the Upton Land Stewardship Committee for the submittal of final plans for a trail bridge over Warren Brook at 59 Mechanic Street.
Thank you. Okay, who's presenting this one?
I guess if really wants to say, I'll try. So the amended order was required by the order of conditions that was initially issued for this notice of intent. Land Stewardship Committee and the Conservation Commission hired Tailhouse Trails, who subcontracted out some of the design to another engineering firm. There are 3 plans. The bridge design is essentially the same that was presented as a conceptual design in the notice of intent. It's in basically the same location as was identified in the notice of intent. I think it might be a few feet longer. In terms of disturbance, pretty much there would be some additional disturbance on the Catherine Robertson side of the property. She had that abutter has allowed will allow a like a mini excavator to come into that bank, that side of the river, to do some excavation work for the concrete abutments. I should have mentioned that at I think the notice of intent probably assumed concrete abutments, but we're definitely going with concrete abutments here on both sides. So there will be probably a mini excavator accessing this site from both sides. The staging area remains the same for hauling in the major materials, the I-beams. The staging area is located in a field on the Robinson property, and then the I-beams will be lowered down a slope to the bridge site. Other materials will probably be carried in from Fowler Street along an existing trail for the most part. There's a window, construction window because of wood turtle habitat, which goes from October 15th to April 15th. I think it's possible if we coordinate with Natural Heritage, possibly some of the work could be done outside that window, but none of the work that involves excavation or equipment. There would be some work that will just be handwork. Putting decking and things like that on the bridge. Which probably could be allowed to occur after that. No soil disturbance or equipment though during the window. Any questions?
I did not take time to review this.
I should, I'll say I did send this to DCR, they're fine with it. The DCR holds a conservation restriction. Well, you should.
I'll look at it. If you want to continue this, I can look at it. Have time.
It's, anyway, the DCR, I was answering the situation. Because the DCR has looked at this and they're fine with it. But I did send it off to Natural Heritage. I also wanted a chance to look at the final design plans, and we haven't heard back from them yet.
Okay.
So continuation is fine.
Okay.
So you got time, Mary.
I did 5 others.
We can approve it pending, Mary's review.
I love the honesty though.
Yeah, I haven't been to the site since We walked it as a commission like 4 years ago during COVID.
No, should we continue this one? Or approve it?
I think we should approve it.
Okay. To a second? So is that a minute?
I'll wait for the natural heritage.
I guess you could approve it subject,
Pending natural heritage.
subject to their concurrence.
So, was that Sandy saying approve it? For a second?
Second.
Okay. So
Thank
this is,
What?
Sorry.
It's getting late.
okay, I,
A little old lady beating the dog one.
Gotta go home and cry.
So are you voting?
Are we voting or what are we
Whichever
doing?
to vote.
Haven't been panicked. Tom, I.
Somebody's gotta wait.
Alan, I.
No.
Sandy, I.
And Mike abstains.
Marcella, I.
okay, this is majority of the commission, one abstention.
Mike abstained.
Okay, excellent. Now, we have approved order of conditions for 47 Main Street.
All right, so I sent out the draft for this order. And it was basically everything we had talked about at the last meeting. I rewrote that condition up that we had talked about, the having an engineer come out after a 1-inch storm. And I kind of left off Peter's idea of him rerunning his HydroCAD and comparing the as-built to make sure it was working. And just kind of went with the let's see if it's working, look at the water levels and check it after the storm. And so I wrote that as a condition. I forwarded it on to them. They were fine with it. And so if the board that was kind of the main thing that was still
Is that
on
really
there.
one tiny little thing? Require installation of a rain gauge?
Oh, right. I can add that. Yeah.
I guess installation and monitoring.
For how long we get monitored for this, just for that period.
Yeah, until, I guess until,
Yeah.
the function of the system is verified.
Okay. Okay.
Do you have any other kinds of comments on their order? Okay, let's take a motion to approve the order as written.
With Mike's rain gauge,
Yes.
I'll add that.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, let's take a voice vote. Chris, I.
Tom, I.
Sandy,
Alan,
I.
I.
Michael,
Marcella, I.
It's a unanimous vote of the commission. Nice job, Mary, for writing this out. Okay, now we have the certificate of compliance for 140 Warren Street for 110693. Construction of a single family house.
Great, so this one,
I don't know. I don't know.
it's the last, I think it's the last one on the left as you're heading down towards Fowler.
Yeah, it's
Oh, okay.
And it was
Mike's
just,
allowed?
It's Tommy's old, no, Mike.
You might-
Mike's allowed.
Mike Davidson.
Mike's allowed. Rose and William live there.
Yeah,
What are they doing?
we just wanna finish, just wanna close it up.
Oh.
Certificate of compliance.
Okay,
They probably wanna sell it,
they just bought it.
probably. Wanna clean up all the paperwork.
The new people are William and Rose,
Anybody we know?
from California. I introduced myself to the other day when I was walking. Nice people. Yeah, dog we had.
Oh, you mentioned.
You have 100 pounds.
100-pound Rottweiler. And then I tell you, he's all gas and no brake.
Used to have some.
Oh, 6 pound, we have a 6-pound Yorkie, that's deaf, mostly blind, and wears a diaper.
Oh, boy.
And we've got a 100-pound Rottweiler,
all right,
that
so,
has no manners.
so the outstanding issue with this property was that the bounds had never been installed, and so. They got the engineering company come out, and the wetland line may have changed a little bit. Because the wetland line originally was delineated in like 2004, so I just asked them
Pretty
to,
tight, it's, wetland line's really tight,
There was some
yeah.
back and forth about that line,
yeah.
more than usual.
Yeah, so I just asked them to put the bounds as close to the driveway as possible, and
Yeah.
that's what, pretty much what they did. And they
Yeah, that
did,
was a tight one.
they installed five bounds or more, and I met the homeowner and we walked in. That was good because it's a jungle in there. Those bounds, those 18-inch bounds are gonna be covered in 2 years. Thankfully, they have pink flags hanging on them, but they're there at least. In the winter, you'll be able to see them. So I think we can approve the certificate of compliance.
Excellent. Do we have a motion to approve the certificate of compliance? 141. Okay, let's do a voice vote. Chris, I.
Tom,
Alan, I.
But
Marcella, I.
Yes, vote of the commission. Nice job. Now, reports, administrators report.
So for me, there's a fair bit of trees. I don't think there's anything super important. This one woman wants to put goats right next to the wetland.
yeah, what is that all?
So,
Eat everything.
well, she's gonna put a fence in and close it. I guess it's a small lawn. It's on Josiah Drive, it's a small house lot right up to the wetlands. She's actually right on the other side from 63 Mendon. They're abutting each other from the back. So
She's gonna put goats on the lawn.
well, the picture's up here. She's putting goats here. In her, I don't know
It's
how,
like a
maybe,
garden.
I don't know how far she's going out into the lawn, maybe some, but the wetland is, literally 20 feet back and down. So I did mention to her, just, I think she's only getting a few, just make sure there's no manure piles, I guess. I don't know whether, this is very close to the wetland. Maybe we want to talk to her more about this. Small goats, maybe,
Goats don't have big manure piles, they have
right, just
fields,
fields,
just tell.
yeah.
So,
so
won't be too bad.
If you do, yeah, if they have a little barn and you clean it out, you may end up with a manure pile sometime.
Well, I was gonna say, don't they have to have a shelter for them?
Yes, they need a little shelter
And where is the shelter?
and fencing, yeah.
and
Goats
I haven't
eat-
Googled this, but like goats eat vegetation, right?
eat everything.
Say, tin cans, Mike.
I take that back,
So-
the goats I had ate everything except what they step in. They don't like to eat the lawn that they walk on and the stuff, but they like to eat everything
Poison ivy,
that
everything.
they can get. My backyard looked like somebody had come across with a trimmer, it was just like that, so.
I mean, they can have goats, I just
I only had
wondering.
one, so she was.
I guess where I'm going is, how close is the wetland here to?
So in order to make this work, you should probably have the goat fence like 5 feet off the wetland, it's
So-
gonna
so-
be close.
So I think you can assume that that wetland is no longer gonna be a vegetated.
Right.
Buffer, excuse me, is no longer gonna be vegetated.
Right,
So is there erosion potential?
it's a slightly sloping hill, yeah, it's, it's not the greatest
Pygmies
location.
though, pygmies are,
So is there any restriction on?
Well, that's the
Coming
other
out
question,
of-
because this is a
like-
this is a subdivision, it's not like they're out where, where Sandy lives or whatever, where there's more than.
I mean, I had one big target bird, and she ate everything that she didn't walk on. And she wouldn't eat the stuff you wanted her to eat. She ate all the maple trees.
So,
So I don't think I don't think we can regulate whether or not
yeah,
she has goats, but we can regulate the fence, the shelters.
right.
And she won't have it goats without a fence.
Right, so I should encourage her to do a determination of that.
Yes.
And maybe try to figure out a different place.
Yeah, it's a small lot. I know, probably, I mean, the front lawn would be great, but it's her front lawn.
What about the Board of Health? Did they have anything to say about?
Well,
goats?
I told her that, she may have to contact other people as well.
So,
And these goats don't have any kind of, couldn't have an agricultural exemption, they're just pets, they're just pets.
where is she? Where is this? Josiah?
Josiah Drive, so that's it's the one off, on your way to the high school, it's that,
Yeah.
that loop. She's at the very end, next to the well.
I love goats.
Yeah,
Pygmies, she's not even gonna get goat's milk, don't have goat's milk, she won't have cheese, I mean.
what's the point, right? Well, pets, I think.
Yeah, they do make pets.
They took a lot of trees down at 5 Wildwood. I guess it was unnecessary for the septic, but anyway, this was the septic area. Oh, this is Upton Ridge, we looked at that. 1180 Street, they've started, this is just a house erosion control permit. Oh yes, so this is actually 5 Farm Street, someone called to complain about salt storage. There is a wetland behind here, it's kind of covered, it's not clear that it is salt. When I called them, they're like, oh no, we don't store salt. Well, yeah, we do use salt in the winter, so it might be under there. It's kind of hedging or whatever. But the neighbor says that their pine tree is now dead. And she sees them salting. She's not exactly sure if it's stored in here, but. And do they overwinter it? Anyway, I can maybe follow up with a letter. I did call about, just a reminder, these are the regs.
So what are they salting, like that driveway area that?
Yeah, I mean, this is a
Is it a
commercial,
home or
this is
is
a
it that
commercial
commercial area?
business,
Oh,
yeah,
alright,
they
I
hold
know
a,
there's the
yeah,
garages and stuff in there.
he runs a septic business, which is why I wasn't sure it was salt, because what you need salt for a septic business, but it's just.
It's grants?
Yeah,
There were some issues there a long time,
oh, really?
double decade, it's been doing this too.
Yeah,
There's some stuff housed over.
right,
This is steep bank.
well, right, and there is quite an extensive wetland behind there.
Well, how old is her pine tree?
It's a big pine tree.
It's a big old tree.
It's a big old tree.
Yeah, it just,
It could be, yeah, the pine tree could be
could
anything.
be just.
Oh, yes.
It's all done.
So he'll probably be back, 170 West River, we talked to him last week. So the trees he wanted to remove, that was okay, but he really wants to grade and go into the conservation restriction and put a patio pavers in here for the edge of his pool. Yeah, so, and the problem is this yellow marker, which the engineering firm put in. We're measuring things out and it doesn't quite jive, and I'm like, you gotta get that figured out, because then unfortunately they didn't put concrete bounds in for the conservation restriction area. So we're not even sure if it's right,
So
so.
maybe that's where we should start, if we ever start.
Yeah, so I told him he needs to talk to the engineering firm and get his plan straight, because one says 42 feet and the other one says 32 feet, like, you gotta figure that out.
And we really, I don't think we can allow a structure in this here, so I just make that clear to them.
Right, yeah, I told him, you know, it is a teeny corner, I'm like, if you're gonna do this, you're gonna have to redo the whole deed and have them give up, like, it's only like, I don't know, 80 square feet, it's a really small corner, but you'd have to get the whole thing redone. You know, you'd have to ask for that, and that would be a pain and expensive.
But
If he was to, you know, you'd have to redraw the line.
There's a process to amend the CR.
Right.
And that, you don't want to go to
Yeah.
that Secretary of Environmental Affairs just to sign. I mean, it's
Yeah.
happened to
I
this.
told him, make your pool smaller.
Get Congress to act on it.
Right, so that's, and he also wants to move, now these stones are. They're not quite along the line, he was hoping to just move them right over into the CR area, I thought that probably would be okay, I didn't give him the. So the line actually goes.
Did he have it surveyed?
It hasn't been surveyed, so this one we think is right because there's a pin there. As well as the yellow marker, it seems like it goes more like this, but it would probably should have to be surveyed before he moves these boulders. Yep, he's a little frustrated. Yep, so that's pretty much it on that. And we have some papers to sign, which is on the agenda, the Azalea Lane acceptance, we have to do that.
And we definitely need to talk about the Robinson Bridge.
So, did Kathy Robertson get permission to clear the brush around her property? Because she's got a wetlands bound at the corner of her driveway, correct?
Yeah, I haven't
Yeah.
actually reviewed her property.
And she had a landscaping company in, and they cleared from the grass behind her, beside her driveway, in probably 10 or 15 feet, all the way down. I don't know how far it went on her back,
Okay.
but I just was afraid to go in and talk to her. Well, I haven't seen her. I don't know if she's home yet for vacation. But I just thought,
Is it clearing the shrubs?
yeah.
Yeah.
And I can't remember if she asked and we said she wanted to clear something at some point. I just can't remember.
Yeah.
And I couldn't trust my memory to begin with, so
I
I'm just saying.
don't remember, yeah, I don't really,
I don't
could
know
have been
what
a
to
while,
say.
could have been a while back.
Let's take a look at it and maybe.
Maybe after the bridge gets full.
But if there's a problem, just say, okay, don't do it again, please. Maybe shrubs will grow back, so.
Yes, shrubs will grow back. But she does have the grass planted on the other side of her bound,
Yeah.
so. Which. Let's look the other way for a while, I guess.
Okay, now, Mary, do we have things to sign?
Yes, we do, and, yes, we have 3 people here, we need 4 people to sign the Azalea Lane deed, so maybe Chris, I can drop it by tomorrow on my way to work or
Do you
something.
want to pass the file over and we can start?
Yeah, you can
signing?
start, yeah,
Did you want a motion to send?
we will need a motion for the Azalea Lane.
Yeah, I do have one question. Well. First off, Felix, thank you, Bill, for catching the kind of weird place that they.
Yeah, but it's there.
So it's there, we don't, be wherever.
And the weird thing is Katie apparently created a copy with that language in the preamble. Or at the top of the deed, but that's not the document that got signed. But it's there.
It's there. I just want, before, we have some time before town meeting, we should probably take a cycle there, just to see.
How much stuff needs to be taken away.
If there's any issue, maybe schedule that,
My recollection is there may be construction debris that in front.
You know,
Oh, other pen.
Chris isn't here with her pen collection. Chris,
There's
What you read, Mike?
I said, I rely on you and your pen collection.
Oh,
I have an extra one here for you, Mike.
Mary just saved me.
I put the pen in my purse and I said, I better bring a second one.
good.
Oh, wait.
Well, I'll take care of you, Mike.
You can get down here quick.
Oh, place. Did I sign anything else I'm supposed to sign? Oh, shoot, I'm gonna be around, so,
They have us in special
Pleasant.
places.
January.
It's not all
Yeah,
in the
all
same
all of
place.
those need to be
Yeah, we
sent.
didn't sign 47 Main. That's one I can't sign.
Right, no, that's over here.
Okay.
That's already been signed. Yeah, I think all of them are. They're all good.
We should have 14 Pleasant Street sign. 10 Wild, not,
Have to have to sign papers we already approved.
Yeah, I don't think you really need a motion. I think it's on the agenda to remember to do it. Yeah, you don't need a motion to sign.
Oh, I thought she said, should we make a
Oh.
motion to sign?
Yeah, we need one.
We are looking.
What we need to do is have Grace do her final report. Poor Grace.
Has Grace started her new job?
Well, Grace is here.
Oh.
She's on.
Isn't tomorrow last day or something?
Didn't see her pretty face.
Oh, allowed to talk. Oh, I didn't know you were a panelist. I'm sorry, Grace.
She's been had her head up this whole time.
kept her out.
Grace, yeah, has had to be out of the office a few days because she's not well, so it was kind of a crazy end. Her
Hi,
last
Grace.
day is tomorrow.
Hi, everyone.
Good luck
Welcome.
with your job, Grace.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
And hopefully we'll see you on the 27th.
Yes, definitely.
Excellent. Now, if everyone thinks, how many people do we have coming on the 27th? So I told I told them it's a registration for 7 people. So there's me, Grace, Mary, Mike, Tom. Well, that's 5.
Sandy,
Of this.
Sandy,
Sandy 6. Anyone else?
That's Mike.
Okay, excellent. So we have 6 o'clock on the 27th at Red Rock.
6.
Yes. 7
Yes.
people, 6 o'clock. And they said it's fine that they have trivia at the same time. Night, 6 p.m.
You've been to the new Mexican restaurant?
I have.
It's very
Taco
nice.
Tuesdays,
Yes, I wanna go on Taco Tuesday.
$2 tacos. I bring my 2 boys.
Grace, we really appreciate,
What was that, Chris?
we appreciate all of your help.
Oh,
They're
thank
good, right?
Quite a bit.
The chicken.
I have to go along.
Wouldn't be dry. Well.
Have
next
to
time
get
we go to
some
Taco Tuesday. we'll
coffee.
come to- Love you show up with my boys.
So anything to say to Grace?
Just thank you, Grace, for all the support, not just this committee.
Wonderful minutes you make. Love your minutes.
You've done an excellent job. We really appreciate all your
Is
help.
there a condition of your new employment that you never have to do minutes again?
No, unfortunately, I'll still be doing minutes. That's okay. Other things as well. But overall, I'm so appreciative of this position. And as a planning student, I've just learned so much under Mary and Mike. So thank you.
Well, thank you. And we'll look forward to seeing you on the 27th.
And great
Appreciate it.
job on the website, Grace. Great job on the website.
Thank you.
Enjoy your trip.
I will.
Appreciate
I'm going to California.
Oh, enjoy.
I'm going to Yosemite and Sequoia. National
Oh,
Park.
nice.
My grandson's a ranger out there.
Oh, nice.
Yosemite, yeah. Actually, he's in training some of it.
Yeah.
He was did the fire stuff from the helicopter. They send him down the road. The rest stuff,
I got approved for that when I was in college.
great stories. We had a good second.
Firefighters, car, I should go out west. Spend the summer out there fighting fires.
Well, he's small, and he's strong, so they send him.
Excuse me. And so do we have anything for the administrative report?
Yes. First, we have to approve the minutes from July 24th.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the minutes from the 24th.
So moved.
Second,
All in favor, Chris, aye.
All right.
Sandy,
Alan,
I.
aye.
Marcella, I.
Just say aye, Mike.
Hi.
No.
Yeah, I'll abstain. Good ones.
Majority vote of the commission. And Grace, what else do we have for signed documents?
We signed it.
We signed them all.
We signed all the documents.
She's got her finances,
Oh,
or her
So do
finances.
we have any expenses?
For the last time.
Yeah.
Okay. We have
Okay,
three.
next month we pay the bills.
so
All in favor?
aye.
Sandy, I.
Chris, aye.
Alan, I.
Marcella, I.
Do we hear from Mike?
He raised his hand.
Okay, this is a unit of the commission, pay our bills.
What's Grace's $8.95 for?
Probably postage. Was that what it was, Grace?
Yes.
I don't know. But she's trying to buy, my box. Please.
Can't even get a cup of coffee for $8.95.
Anything else, Grace?
Yes, just the balance sheet.
Grace, could you blow this up a little bit? Because we're gonna, when we get to the Robertson Trail Bridge, I'm gonna maybe asking for an obligation. So, conservation fund is
I think that conservation,
include
it
five?
does not include the 5,000. We're kind of waiting until it shows up in Vadar.
so it doesn't include, so we really have like 21 there, and then we have
Right.
stewardship between those two funds about another 21,000.
Yeah.
So we've got, okay. And the obligation we have is trail bridges already.
Oh, Grace, and a question, our general expenses, isn't 1,000 of that for CPC is for some other board, right?
Yes, it's for lakes and ponds.
Okay, Lakes and Ponds.
Yep.
Huge.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, nice job, Grace. Okay, anything else, Grace?
Nope, that'll do it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay,
Hey,
now we have-
Grace.
I know, last time. Okay, open space.
I am doing a site walk at the land off of Fay Mountain Road up in North Upton, near the Forest Heights on Friday, with Tony Chiavelli from SVT and Lisa Mazinski from Omega County Trust. And then on Monday, the 19th, meeting with Tony and the appraiser that SVT has hired to appraise that small parcel off of Mechanic Street. The Reed property may be in the process of being sold. Doesn't seem like it's going to explicitly include anything to do with the land we were trying to preserve, so we'll have to see how that plays out. But that's probably, we're probably still looking at the actual purchase and sale agreement type stuff. That's it for now.
Excellent, thank you. How about land stewardship?
I guess I can just update y'all. Until we get the chairperson thing resolved, Mike has put together a list of things we need to take care of, and we've assigned different members to be leads on the various projects. So hopefully that'll, allow us to manage the projects that we have to deal with these days. So that's where we're at.
Excellent, thank you. How about our discussion items?
Just talk to us every.
Yeah, that should be all set. We did a motion for that, right? Or did we not?
No.
Okay, Chris, we need a motion to accept the Azalea Lane open space.
We make a motion to accept the Azalea Lane open space.
Pending a site inspection. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Second,
Okay, let's do a voice vote. Chris, I.
Tom, I.
Sandy,
Alan,
I.
I.
Like,
Marcella, I.
Okay, that's a unanimous vote of the members present. Mike, did you want to do anything with the CPP survey?
no, I mean, you filled it out, right, Chris?
Yes.
The CPP is a community preservation plan that's being done by Central Administration Planning for the Community Preservation Committee, and Central Mass sent a questionnaire to all sorts of different boards, including Conservation Commission. Chris filled out the one commission. So, I'm sorry, Chris.
I was saying, do we have anything else tonight?
Yes, we do. We've got to talk about, there's a couple more discussion items, at least one. That's the funding for the Robertson Trail Bridge. This is talking with town manager. We're ready essentially to put a contract for the bridge construction, or very close to being ready. We have $120,000 CPC funds for the project. The current cost estimate for the bridge, I believe, is about $110,000. We spent approximately $15,000, $14,600, something like that, on the design. So the available funding is a little bit less than the cost estimate, by about $5,000. And Joe has some concerns about that, which are legitimate. So there's a couple possibilities for funding. One is that the commission could agree to make up any deficit, whatever it might be, from the stewardship revolving funds or the conservation fund. Put a dollar value on how much we'd be willing to kick in for this. And then the other possible sorts of funds is there is Metacom. It has a John Robertson Memorial Fund that's got some money in it, some funds in it, and I think this would be an appropriate place to, for Metacom to donate to the town. Won't be a lot, but it'll be some.
Would that cover it or part of it? Or?
I think right now it's got less than 1,000, but there might be some additional donations coming. To pump it up a bit.
So how much do you think we'd be on the hook for?
Well, that's it, yeah, it's hard to know, but
I understand.
this Townhouse Trails, they did the design and they did the cost estimate. And I'd be willing to bet that they're also gonna construct this. There's only a couple of companies in New England that specialize in building trail bridges, in remote location. So, well, my guess is they will probably be bidding, they may be the only one who bid, when we put out the trail design. I see the bridge design contract, we got one bid. So, theoretically, I believe they know what our budget is.
Do you think we'll come in on budget?
I hope so.
Oh,
Well, that's
hope's not really a good plan, but.
Well, I guess,
I understand, Mike.
but no, the
He
alternative.
is to satisfy the town man.
You have to answer Joe's question. The other possibility, at some point, this like comes in way high, and we need to decide, we really want to build this bridge, I would really struggle for not to go back to town meeting, additional funds.
Yeah, and I'm not opposed to providing some funding.
So
I
we-
just, I like what you said, if it comes in too high. I'd rather kill the project than, have to put out 50 grand or something.
Yeah,
You were talking like $5,000?
looking at those balances.
Probably
I would
fund
estimate maybe 7,500, up to 7,500.
And I'm gonna be comfortable.
And then, with the understanding that at least another 1,000 could be supplied from Robinson. So that would 8,500, I think, hopefully, there is inflation. Cost estimate did kind of, it mentioned that prices of materials could go up.
You put so much work and time into this, I hate to see us not do it.
I'd like to
To
see
get
it
to the
built.
point where we say it's too much.
I'd like to, I may as well like to see Cynthia Robinson be able to see this bridge.
Yeah.
I missed it. It's a Cynthia.
Alright, so there's nothing to
So
do or.
Well,
you're looking for us
I
to
guess-
make a motion or
Yes,
to,
somebody wants to
to
make a motion
support you
to make,
on this? How do the others feel? How's Marcella feel? Alan,
I still like the rope swing idea
you like the rope swing?
or a zip line. But I think we should just get this thing done.
I agree.
About Alan? How much
Uh,
would you
I
put
think-
down?
I think it's well, I don't know, it's pretty expensive for
Yeah.
a bridge. That's my only concern.
No, I agree with that, but if it's not coming out of us, I think it's way too expensive, but if it's coming out of the CPC funds, then I'm okay with it.
Yeah, same here.
Me too, I'm okay up to a limit.
so. I make the motion that the commission. The commission agrees to expend up to $7,500 from our stewardship revolving funds or the conservation fund to make up any shortfall in funding for the Robinson Trail Bridge.
Do we have a
Can't wait after the bid goes out? Do we have to have the money before the bid?
Yeah, I think.
Is that the rule? I
Well, I
don't
had some
understand the
communication with
rules.
Joe, and he was a little nervous about it, so.
Yeah.
That's why I'm opposite.
We have a second.
Second,
Okay, let's do a voice vote. Chris,
Tom,
Alan, I,
Marcella, I.
Don't tell the bridge people how much.
No.
Okay.
Unanimous vote of the commission.
Cause they'll want all they can get, they need to make money too, everybody's gotta feed their families.
There's some of these, the costs, they have to pay for the accommodation stay. They need to stay, you know, have lodging for probably 2 weeks or so while they're working here.
Where are they from?
Vermont.
Oh,
I know, they're from New York, so, but Hudson Valley.
Do we have anything else for tonight?
No.
Okay. Sandy, do we have a motion to adjourn?
so moved.
All in favor, Chris,
Aye.
aye.
All right,
Good night, everybody.
Good night,
All right.
good
everybody.
night, have a great
Good
night.
night, Grace.